Tonight's OSU football special is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance.
It's only been here about a month. We're getting a lot of positives about it. For each player, there's an action shot and then a facial picture. And Archie Griffin will be here to see it this week. We're really excited about that.
And Archie was here to see it just a little bit ago, earlier this afternoon. That is one of the many highlights here at the Hall of Fame. Well, when you try to replace a three-year starter like Bobby Hoying, John Cooper figures that perhaps two arms are better than one in that situation. Stan Jackson is, of course, penciled in as the starter for tomorrow's game. But like the first two games, look for Joe Germain to play and see plenty of playing time against Notre Dame. Now, it's not that Jackson hasn't done everything they've asked of him, because he have. In fact, listen to this. The last 4 times he's taken the field, he's come back to the sidelines with points on the board. Stan is quick with a strong arm, and his mobility allows receivers to get open. As for Germain, well, he brings the other dimension. He's the classic drop-back passer, has that nice touch on the deep ball. In his 2 games combined, Germain has thrown for over 300 yards to go with 5 touchdowns and no interceptions. The numbers speak well for both, but keep in mind, there is no quarterback controversy here.
If I had children and Joe's around my kids' age, he would definitely be a person that I would want my children to hang out with.
Stan makes a great play. You know, I'm the first guy there to pat him on the butt and say great job, and vice versa.
The way they're playing, they both deserve to play. I think they give us the best chance to win.
Stanley is 4 for 4. Actually, he is 14 for his last 14 on drives. So far, there's been no set rhyme or reason as to when Joe Germain plays. As we said, Stan is the starter, but when it comes down to crunch time tomorrow, it'll be a heat-of-the-moment decision for John Cooper as to who gets the call.
If we have to throw the ball more, we may go with a certain quarterback. If, you know, it's raining, the conditions are bad, we may have to, you know, take that all into consideration, make some game day decisions.
Right now, as for the Fighting Irish, there's no decision to be made. Of course, their quarterback is Ron Paulus, and he is the man that has led this team to a perfect start so far this season. It has not been an easy one, though, for Mr. Paulus. Notre Dame barely squeaked past Vanderbilt. That happened earlier this month, which actually cost them in the polls. Here to recap the first 3 Irish wins is Andy Baskin.
It was the kind of game Irish fans didn't expect for the season opener. Vanderbilt, who the Irish blew out 41-0 last year, gave Notre Dame a run for their money in the season opener. Fullback Mark Edwards scored the game winner with under 5 minutes to go, 14-7 the final. Notre Dame's second game pitted the Fighting Irish against Indiana in-state rival Purdue. It was Autry Denson's coming out party with 3 touchdowns against the Boilermakers in a 35-0 romp on Purdue. Last week, the Fighting Irish found themselves in a position they haven't been in since 1986, a game decided on the final play. Texas jumped out to a 14-3 lead in the game, but Notre Dame battled back. LaRon Cobbins intercepted a pass to move Notre Dame to the Longhorn 34. 8 plays later, Denson scored to tie the game at 24, and with 5 seconds to go, freshman Jim Sanson hit the 39-yarder to win it 27-24.
All right, Andy Baskin, thank you very much. And it was a very exciting game with Texas last week. It promises to be a good one again tomorrow. There's much more to come on Buckeyes 96. We are live from the College Football Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana. We'll be right back after you see this.
It's called a sack for a sack.
3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we want to see if the Buckeyes can beat them. So we're asking all those people from Columbus and all you great Ohio State fans to come and see your Buckeyes, because they're enshrined here in the hall, and it's a tribute to a great program.
They are going for the record here at the College Football Hall of Fame. So far, 850 have passed through this weekend. We'll see what happens. 3 weeks ago, it was Buckeyes 96, and Dom Tiberi told you at that time that this incoming freshman class had the potential to be one of the best in the nation. Well, he told us that 3 weeks ago, and Dom Tiberi was right on the money. Right now, linebacker Andy Katzenmoyer leads this team in sacks as well as tackles, and on offense, David Boston and Michael Wiley have combined to score 35% of the Buckeyes' touchdowns. But 9 other newcomers have also seen action, and here's Dom Tiberi with an update on the freshman file.
There are 100 players on this year's Ohio State football team. Of the 100, 24 are true freshmen. That's 24 new faces looking for playing time, looking to make an impact.
Coming to a school like Ohio State, it's easy for freshman football players to get lost in the shuffle. After all, this is an overwhelming place, and let's face it, In most cases, freshman football players are not ready to play either physically or mentally at this level. But then again, there are exceptions.
Take freshman flanker Michael Wiley out of California, for example. In the first game of the season against Rice, he scored 3 touchdowns. Then there's split end David Boston from Texas. He scored 3 touchdowns last week against Pittsburgh. For 2 games this year, the Buckeyes have scored 20 touchdowns. David Boston and Michael Wiley have combined for 7 of those scores.
Deep down inside, I always thought I'd do good here because, I'm a competitive person. I like to compete. So, I always thought I'd come to the system and help them out. But, I'm really surprised on how well it's turned out and, how quick I picked up receiver and everything.
They came here expecting to play this year. I don't think we expected Michael Wiley to score the first 3 times he touches the ball, or David Boston to score 3 times against Pittsburgh. But if it happens, it happens. They're both good athletes.
Defensively, linebacker Andy Katzenmoyer out of Westerville has taken most of the headlines. Against Rice, he became the first freshman linebacker ever at Ohio State to start in an opener. And Katzenmoyer has delivered. He currently leads the team with 12 tackles.
It's real exciting, going out there and showing everybody that, we are the #1 class in the nation by the plays on the field, not just to talk and, what we did in high school, but actually get on the collegiate level and performing.
Of the 24 freshmen on this year's club, 12 have seen playing time. That should give you an indication as to just how good this freshman class is.
A lot of these players, as you know, committed early. Particularly the players in Ohio committed early. We had a lot of them in our football camp. So with that in mind, I think we knew maybe a little more about this class than we have some of the past classes that we brought in. We thought it was a good class. It is a good class. It may be a little better class than we thought it was, when they initially came in here.
And John Cooper likes to say, if a dog bites, he'll bite as a pup. And these Buckeye freshmen may be young, but they certainly have plenty of bite. For Buckeyes 96, I'm Dom Taberry reporting.
All right, Dom, thank you very much. And we will find out tomorrow just how good this freshman class is. This will be their first test. Now it's time to step away from the game for just a second. Time for perhaps my favorite part of the show. It is time to take you on a tour of the 1-year-old College Football Hall of Fame. Some of you may remember it from its days at Kings Island, right there in Ohio, but it has moved here to South Bend. Earlier this week, I had a chance to go through the new time capsule of college football. Come along now as I take you through the College Football Hall of Fame.